have it, we can continue. So yeah, next time we go down Smith Street and turn to go up the hill towards the school.
Okay. I know, I'll go make more copies, just a minute. Just a minute.
Folks, we'll get started shortly. We just have a couple people who had to take care of some business outside of the boardroom, and they'll be in shortly. And one of them is here. Hello.
Sure, we all enter a room.
The main company.
The engineering services agreement? Okay. That's a finance resolution. Okay. Who do you want to read the added? Okay.
As revised, I think.
We went to the. All right.
She'll be right up. She made it.
Well,
Hold my hand.
oh, we're good. All right.
Yeah.
Good, good. Glad to hear it.
You can roll it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Sorry, we're a few minutes late. Committees had some extra stuff to do, and I had some extra stuff to do and didn't even get to any of the committees today, and I apologize for that. But we'll begin at the beginning. Don't forget to silence your gadgets, phones and such. If you have anything for us, it'll go to Mr. Curran as the Sergeant at Arms. We begin with an invocation and the pledge. Commissioner Majerick is doing the invocation. Commissioner Pitchford's doing the pledge. If you'd like to join us, please rise. Good.
Give me a minute, please. Thank you. Father, Lord God, we are meeting today to conduct matters of business. Through our weakness, give us strength. Through our discussions, give us clarity. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being our source of guidance today. Please watch over all citizens living with illness and pain today. God bless America, Berrien County, and our families. Amen.
Amen.
Please repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you both. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Bell,
Here.
Curran,
Here.
Freeling,
Present.
Harrison,
Here.
Hinkleman, Majerick,
Here.
Ott,
Here.
Pitchford,
Present.
Ballraff,
Here.
Werfel, here, Yarborough,
Present.
Elliott.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 present.
Thank you. The minutes from last week need to be approved. Is there a motion to do that?
So made.
Moved by Pitchford. Is there support? Supported by
Yeah.
Freeling. Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, I understand we have at least a couple of communications.
Yes, you have 4 communications, a resolution from Ingham County Board of Commissioners supporting statewide water affordability legislation received on March 15th. A resolution from Okama County Board of Commissioners supporting statewide ballot initiative to restore local control of siting decisions for renewable energy and energy storage projects received on March 15. A resolution from Tuscola County Board of Commissioners supporting for the Citizens for Local Choice ballot initiative, which seeks to amend the Clean Renewable Energy and Energy Waste Reduction Act to repeal Part 8 as part of Public Act 233 of 2023. Received on March 18, a letter from Kevin Ivers, Bridgman, regarding dredging dated March 17th. That's all for communications.
Okay, thank you. Next is public comments about resolutions. This isn't general public comments at this point, just resolutions that are on the consent calendar, and then there's an added one that ends in 176, which is coming out of finance, which won't be part of the consent calendar. It'll actually be read into the record. But if you have any comment about a resolution, this is the time. If you do, name and town, if you wish to opine. Yes, sir.
My name is Dwayne Seats. I'm the mayor pro tem of the city of Benton Harbor, Michigan. I stand here to speak on P 2403173 and the fairness of the practice. As we know, this opiate epidemic has been something that has been a crisis throughout not just Berrien County, but America. Benton Harbor is a home rule city, and yet and still I don't see any representation on this for the city of Benton Harbor. We have a program that has been in the jail for the last 15 years. Nightly and daily, we take calls from people who have been, who've died or have family members who've died. And now we have new programs that have come. And one thing about somebody who has great potential, that means they've never done anything. They have no statistic to back anything that they're doing, and yet they receive funding. So it's easy to walk somebody through a grant when you wrote the process to help somebody else to get it. But to get a house and to get some other things is very, very, when it came to Vivitrol, we brought Vivitrol to the city. How many people that we know, all of my staff carry these. Anybody know what these are? This happens when somebody ODs or overdoses and somebody has to show up to the scene to help them out. We get calls daily, nightly. I had a cousin. That just buried 2 weeks ago because of somebody gave him something and he thought it was one thing and it was laced with fentanyl. Fentanyl is not just something that comes with a needle. Union Park got calls where somebody died because they got an opiate overdose. Second Baptist Church down in the stairwell, 2 needles in their arm because they had an overdose of fentanyl. These relationships that we've built over the years where families call us. We've had to give people housing, get people out of the area. If Sheriff Hite was here, and he probably is.
2 minutes.
He'll tell you that there's numerous people, when they get out of jail, they have nowhere to go. They leave them out butt naked or what they came into jail with. And these people are you rewarding with grants. And I'm gonna ask this question and I'm gonna tell you this because I'm passionate about it. And you can give me 2 minutes and I'm out of here.
You've had your 2 minutes.
All right, but I'm gonna tell you this. I'm asking you, the County of Berrien, to stop utilizing Benton Harbor statistics if you're not gonna utilize the money right for Benton Harbor and to represent Benton Harbor and to do what's right by Benton Harbor. Too many times this county board has got money for the statistics of Benton Harbor and has not done what's right by the city's residents of
Thank you,
Benton
sir.
Harbor. And we are a home rule city and we will talk to whoever we gotta talk to make sure the money is directed to the people of Benton Harbor. And
Sir.
all these people are using the
Sir,
Benton
your
Harbor.
time has expired. Thank you. Does anyone else wish to be heard about resolutions on the consent calendar or the added resolution? General public comments will be later. This is just the resolutions. Yes, ma'am. Name and town, if you would.
Morning, my name is
Morning.
Kathy Myers from Pier 1000 Marina, beautiful Benton Harbor, Michigan. Just here to thank the county, thank Dan Fetty for all the work again that we're, coming up with this whole dredging issue. I know it's a lot extra for people to take on. I think St. Joe Township, who are helping fund this project, which is very helpful. And we understand at this point, we're kind of on our own after this, but we do appreciate at least having a permit in place so that we can start raising some funds to dredge the river. So, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else wish to be heard about resolutions on the agenda, the consent calendar, or the added resolution? All right, we will close that part of the agenda and move to the consent calendar. Does anyone wish to pull anything from the consent calendar? Yes, sir.
I would like to pull the resolution as it relates to the support for the, sorry. I would like to pull the resolution as it relates to the supporting of a ballot initiative. I don't know the exact
And which
number.
one is that 170?
3170, I believe. Yep.
Okay,
A2403170.
all right, so 3170 is pulled. Ma'am,
And if we could pull B 2403823, I
I was
might need
just-
glasses. Were you
just
gonna do
getting to
that? Okay.
Yes.
Um,
We're
For
going to pull,
future.
the one that ends in 3823. And then 3176, according to the clerk, it's gonna have to be read into the record because it was a late arrival to the agenda. So we'll get to all of that, but first and foremost, we have important business to tend to. A young lady named Maya Shutnik is here, escorted by her grandmother, Sandra Barker, who has something on her lapel that says, you took it off?
Queen Grandma.
Queen Grandma, okay. So, yeah, let's see that. There it is. And I'd like to thank Terry for suggesting this. Would also like to thank my daughter Roxy for suggesting this. And I said, well, yes, we were planning to do that. And she said, well, why don't you just get it done? And I mentioned to her yesterday when we had some business in Chicago, I said, Maya is coming tomorrow. And she said, well, tell her hi, tell her I couldn't stick around because I had to get back for class early this morning. So I have passed that message on. And if I may, I'm going to try to read this and not make too many mistakes in the process. Berrien County Board of Commissioners Resolution B 2403823, honoring Miss Michigan 2023, dated March 21, 2024. Whereas Maya Shutnik grew up in the community of Buchanan and is a graduate of Buchanan High School. And whereas she has achieved much success in the pageant world when in 2019 she was selected as first runner-up to Miss Buchanan, Miss Spirit of Blossom Time, and went on to claim the title of Miss Congeniality to Miss Blossom Time that same year. And whereas she has achieved much success academically, graduating from Michigan State University, go green. In the spring of 2023 with a degree in graphic design. And whereas in June of 2023, Maya competed against 24 other young ladies during a 3-day competition held in Muskegon, and wearing a gown of Spartan green, was crowned Miss Michigan 2023. And whereas in January 2024, she represented our county and our state, vying for the title of Miss America 2024, competing in the areas of talent, interview, fitness, stage presentation, and the non-stage question. And whereas her social impact initiative is Art for All, and she did speed painting as her talent, for which she received the Kauai Preliminary Talent Award during the Miss America pageant. Sorry.
That's a hard one to mess up.
And whereas she shares, often you can come from a small town and do big things, and urges young women to chase their dreams. And whereas she has represented our county and our state well at the national level, and it is appropriate to recognize those that make great contributions to their community and have achieved success. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved that the Berrien County Board of Commissioners recognizes Maya Shutnik for her great success on and off the stage, and wishes her the best of luck with her future endeavors, empowering young women to pursue their dreams. Be it further resolved that Maya Schutnick's life, actions, and contributions reflect most favorably upon herself, her family, the community of Buchanan, Berrien County, the state of Michigan, and the United States of America. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Moved by Freeling, supported by Warfel. Madam Clerk will dispense with the normal roll call, and all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution approved.
Could you say something to us?
Maya, would you like to say a couple things?
Oh, sure. Can you hear me? I didn't realize there's microphones
You have
everywhere.
more than 2 minutes. so.
Oh, okay. I probably don't need more than 2 minutes, but hi everyone, my name's Maya. I didn't really know what to expect coming in today, but this is lovely. I want to thank Miss Terry for having me and inviting me to come today, and Mr. Elliott for having me as well. But this is just lovely. I love being from a small town. I'm the first Miss Michigan from Southwest Michigan in a really long time, if ever. I didn't grow up knowing a Miss Michigan. I met one when I was 18 and she was lovely. And I was like, I want to be just like her. So my goal as Miss Michigan is to be very authentic and relatable. I had a really hard year of adversity. I lost my dad 2 months before I won Miss Michigan, and I was a student at Michigan State University when there was that mass shooting. So through that, through my struggles, the arts have been something for me to just love and to be myself. So I advocate for the arts for everyone, all ages, all demographics to enjoy, because I think they have something special to bring to everyone. And I love doing that as Maya. I love doing that as Miss Michigan. I love doing that as a small town girl from Buchanan. So I love my job. I love Southwest Michigan. I'm just super honored to be here today. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Sure, actually, why don't we do this? Why don't we go with the
Okay, I'll go right here. You want to?
That's okay, you're
fine.
Yeah.
Good, yeah, okay, here's our.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on, wait a minute. Sorry, guys, we'll be back in business, I promise. Thank you.
All right.
We'll probably have other things to do, we understand. We need to cut out.
Okay, I'll hang out for a little bit.
All right.
Just while Mac is coming to sit down, I just want to statistically talk about the fact of how remarkable it is that we have a Miss Michigan from Southwest Michigan, and the odds of that. You have a greater odd of having a chance to be in the NFL than you do to be on the stage of Miss America. So it's quite a remarkable feat, something that you should be very proud of. And we should all be very proud because she represented our community. Excellent.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Maya, are you on well water by any chance when you grew up? I'm convinced that's the thing. Yes. Yeah, I'm telling you. Okay. All right. Well, we're happy to have you as well as you, Mrs. Barker, and we're going to then go into the consent calendar, and we'll get through that part of it that we can get through quickly, which would be everything except 3823 and 3176. So is there a motion to approve the consent calendar with those two exceptions?
I'll
Yes,
make
sir.
that motion.
Moved by Curran. Is there support? Supported by Ott. Is there discussion? All right, hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Curran,
Yes.
Freeling,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Hinkleman,
Yes.
Majerick,
Yes.
Yes.
Pitchford,
Yes.
Ballraff,
Yes.
Werfel.
Yes.
Yarborough,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
Okay, why don't we do 3176 next, the added resolution? You got it? Okay. Mamie has just signed the revised one. I don't know if that goes to the clerk or what, but John, is that the one you have? Okay, John.
2403176, March 21st, 2024. The Honorable Board of Commissioners, Marion County, your County Finance Committee respectfully recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas Marion County has issued a proposal from qualified consultants to prepare and submit a permit application to the United States Army Corps of Engineers and the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lake and Energy to dredge portions of the St. Joe River, and whereas Peterson and Vandenberg Environmental LLC of Nunica, Michigan was the sole responsive bidder with a bid amount of $50,650. And whereas the city of St. Joe and St. Joe Charter Township have tentatively committed to provide $15,000 each to the county of Berrien to support this work. And whereas the remaining portion of this work, $20,650, will be funded from the available contingency within the county's general fund budget. Now therefore be it hereby resolved that the Berrien County Board of Commissioners authorizes the chairperson or his designee to execute the attached services agreement with Peterson and Vandenberg Environmental in the amount of $50,650. Be it further resolved that any costs for future permitting related to the dredging of the St. Joe River incurred by Berrien County must have agreements for reimbursement in place prior to expending funds, respectively submitted by the Berrien County Finance Committee. Chairperson Mamie L. Yarborough, John Hinkleman, Vice Chairman, Terry Sue Freeling, and Riante D. Bell.
You move its adoption.
And I do, I move its adoption.
Support.
Bell won the total thing. So moved by Hinkle, supported by Bell, and any discussion.
Thank you. I've lived here all my life. I keep saying that. And water runs through here, all kinds of, the Paw Paw River, the St. Joe River, Lake Michigan doesn't come in Benton Harbor, does it? Lake Michigan.
Not quite.
Yeah, well,
Close.
and other little ponds and things that you see. And you sometimes have to take care of things that you don't use. You may have a trail, we're building trails and I don't walk, or we're building bike paths, and there are things that we do. This is our community. And I watch the boats go up and down, and I want them to be able to navigate and move. We don't know, we've got property on St. Joe River, and it's going to be developed. There's no way they're going to leave Riverview Drive alone. All that whole row, I saw that today, is vacant. And I'm designing how my apartment's going to be. So this water needs to be kept navigable and open. And so I'm sorry, and the $15,000 is not a lot of money. I'm sorry that the city of Benton Harbor has not answered or chosen to be involved in this, but I do sign the resolution that will help it get done. And I just had to say that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Just very quickly, I would like to say that the final be it further resolved. I appreciate that coming, Julie, that it was penned, because I'd like to make the point that we've been through this before, and while this is very, very important, we need to make sure that it's taken care of in the future. So whatever efforts need to be made by the parties that need them made, I think that know that in the future that they need to get something in place so that this is taken care of, so that they can self-fund and take care of this in the future. Happy to do it now, to vote yes for this now, but want to make sure that this is taken care of in the future. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yes, sir.
Thanks, Mac. I asked in admin a question about a GoFundMe page for property owners or business owners along through there. And I understand previously there was a mechanism for property owners to donate because the next big question is not just the permitting, but that actual dredging. That's going to be the bigger cost, I believe. And so I think if anyone property owners who wants to donate, there is a mechanism by which they can, if they want to.
Okay. Anyone else?
Sorry, my mic was off. Anyone else? Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Freeling.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Majerick.
Yes.
Yes.
Pitchford.
Yes.
Walrath.
Yes.
Werfel.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Curran.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
Thank you. The resolution, I misspoke. It ends in 3170. I said 3176. That's the one that was pulled at the request of Commissioner Pitchford. Since it was on the consent calendar, it doesn't need to be read into the record verbatim, but it will need to be moved and supported before we can discuss it.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Pitchford. Is there support? Supported by Werfel. Discussion.
I could kick it off. So the crux of this resolution is that the Berrien County Board of Commissioners is going to be endorsing and supporting a ballot initiative that will be on the ballot this year. I think there are three problems with that. Number one, this ballot initiative doesn't have the signatures currently to be on the ballot. They have until May 29th, and they need 449,000 signatures at a minimum. Most ballot proposals, most of these things come in with 500, 600,000 because a lot of them are going to be spoiled. Currently, we are asking the Board of Commissioners to endorse an idea, not something that's on the ballot. We run the risk of endorsing something that doesn't get the signatures, and it was kind of moot to do it in the first place. The second problem is precedent. I don't know, I haven't been here as long as some of the other commissioners, so I could be educated here. Has the Berrien County Board of Commissioners ever endorsed anything on the ballot in the history of Berrien County? Go ahead.
Marijuana, I think we did.
Was that 2018? And was it for or against it?
Well,
Is this debate?
yeah.
I was just asking a question.
Go ahead and finish and then Mike.
And the third point I want to make is going back to the original resolution that opposed the energy siting piece of the legislation. I think it would have been politically advantageous for myself, Rayante to some extent, to vote against it because there are a lot of people in our party that supported that. We are very good friends with our state representative. I voted for it because it was, number one, all three of the communities that I represent said that local control was important. I believe local control is important. So it would have been advantageous to vote no and been, standing on my high horse politically. I didn't do that. I'm going to ask the same of the board here. It may be politically advantageous to stick it to the Democrats in Lansing and say, we don't want this to pass. My point would be each commissioner in their own capacity could go to their communities, organize, get people to vote, sign petitions. I don't know if the Berrien County Board of Commissioners should be endorsing something on the ballot. I would say there are multiple groups, multiple ballot initiatives. There's one currently to completely get rid of all property taxes in Michigan. There's one to do the energy siting. There are 17 ballot initiatives going on the ballot. Not a single one of them has the signatures. So my desire would be for us to vote this down. But if we would table this at a minimum until after we get confirmation if the signatures have been actually submitted and they've been approved by the Board of Canvassers and it's on the ballot in 2024, I think that would even be more prudent than voting for something that right now is just an idea.
Commissioner Majerick, did you have anything?
I thought we did one where we, before it was voted on, that we passed that we were against marijuana at the time, and it was like 18 or no. 18.
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah.
But ma'am.
I think this is more than just on the November ballot. It is supporting the idea of this coalition going out and getting the signatures. And I'd just like to read the statement of Mr. Stephen Curry, who is the executive director of the Michigan Association of Counties, in the legislative update that was sent out this week. So we all received it. But his last final statement on it is, it's unfortunate that we have reached this point, but this measure is so ill-conceived, so counter to the interests of our communities and good governance that MAC has to take a stand on this. So that's what I think we should be doing as well.
Thank you. And the administrator just found it was 2018, the marijuana resolution. Any other comments? Yes, sir.
I did
visit the New Buffalo town, City of New Buffalo and Chickaming board meetings this week and last week and discuss that resolution as well as the Airbnb bill that may be looked at April 10th. They all support our support of the MAC resolution. They're obviously not happy that they had local control taken away from them. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I did reach out to them. I went to the meetings and got some pushback on that. So I just wanted to say.
Ma'am.
I did a little bit of research as well, and I am in favor of this resolution. MAC has taken stance, the Michigan Association of Counties, not UMAC, but maybe you have. The Michigan Association of Counties has taken stances on ballot initiatives, personal property tax in 2014, transportation funding in 2015. I think that this board has spoken normally through resolutions on even initiatives that we've been bringing forward. And so this is the mechanism with which we can speak. And so I am in favor of this because I am in favor of local control and keeping it in locals' hands.
Yes, sir.
And I do hear that specifically what Commissioner Ott said, that, my communities reached out to me in the original resolution and said, this is something that we want to see because we don't want to see energy siting going to the Public Services Commission for large megawatt projects. I don't think I've heard anybody address my point that this is still an idea. This is not on the ballot. The signatures have not been gathered. This is an idea. So I'm wary to support it because if this doesn't get the signatures to get on the ballot, what was the point? It's not like our endorsement of this is going to send a drove of people out canvassing to get signatures unless every commissioner is going to grab a clipboard.
Bless you.
I think it would be more prudent that after the ballot proposal has gotten the signatures to revisit this and say we're endorsing something that's substantive.
Thank you. Commissioner Bell.
So if I could just be honest, I'm not in support of us passing this resolution because I believe in working with our state legislature. And so in the past, we sent a letter resolution, just affirming our stance on local control. And it's my understanding that our state representative took that letter and he worked with across party lines and committees to make amendments to the current legislation before it was passed. And, just my understanding of those amendments that were included in that legislation, it did, factor in local control. And there were some things in there that I agree with as far as making sure local control is being considered. And so that is why I believe we shouldn't create this war, because this is the Board of Commissioners basically, declaring war or just, sticking it to our legislature. And that's not really what I want to do as a board. We as individuals, we have that right to do that. But as the full board, we should try to maintain that working relationship with our legislators.
Thank you. Anyone else around the horseshoe? Yes, sir.
I think we can work together and still, have our opinions on the topic. I've been in Lansing a couple times a month, even through my surgeries, and MAC is very confident they're going to get the signatures. They're very close now, from what I've heard, and I don't think that should be an issue in what we're doing here.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, if there's no other discussion, I call the question.
One more bit of discussion
Yes,
first,
sir.
if I may.
Yes.
Is everyone else done though? Ma'am?
Didn't we pass something and let this happen? Was it in Niles? Where some big company, they were already ready and they sold it and they're going to do the solar, and that is happening? We didn't enter.
Niles has that
we didn't
mega
use this.
plant for.
The noise,
Yeah.
something that's too
Yeah, that's
noisy.
different.
It's a gas plant.
That's something
Not
else.
solar.
Okay.
That's out.
Yeah.
Is it Niles Township or?
It's
Niles
Capital.
Township?
Just waiting.
Okay,
know,
so we
waiting
don't have
to happen.
jurisdiction.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
We could try to take over in the night or something. See if we can move it into Berrien, but probably shouldn't do that. Okay, all poor jokes aside. I just have a question. Is the issue that this references a ballot initiative and not the reference to restoration of local zoning control?
That is my chief issue with it.
Okay, is everyone in agreement that we'd like to see restoration of local zoning authority that was stripped away by PA 233 of 2023?
Yes.
Is everybody in agreement on that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, take a look at the be it further resolved. If you draw a line through the words starting with statewide ballot initiative, go all the way through the second line and through the word amend in the third line. And then in the first line, add the words amendment of, then that be it further resolved would read, be it further resolved that Berrien County supports the amendment of the Clean and Renewable Energy and Energy Waste Reduction Act to, among other things, repeal Part 8 is added by Public Act 233 of 2023, which will restore local control of land use to ensure reasonable regulation in our widely diverse communities. Anybody have a problem with that amendation to the resolution? Would that work? You want to do it?
Mr.
Okay.
I will
Is there
support.
support? And moved by Pittsford, supported by Freeling.
Oh,
We do
okay.
have another motion.
All right,
I'll
so,
rescind my earlier motion.
yeah, the
if that's
parliamentary
what I-
procedure, your motion and your support of 3170 is you rescind that.
Mhm.
And in its place, the amended A 2403170 is, you're moving that.
Correct.
And
And
who's
you
supporting
supported
that?
Yeah.
Alex, you're
Do you
supporting
support
it?
the amendment?
Yeah, that's fine.
What I just read. You're good with, you're moving that, you're supporting that. Everybody good with that language?
Yes.
So who made the motion? Clark supported and
Yeah.
Pittsford made the motion.
I-
On the
Got
amended.
it? Okay. I mean, I did it in blue ink, so. So this way it doesn't talk about the ballot initiative, which will rise or fall on its own. It focuses on restoration of local zoning control. Because, I mean, I don't think anybody disagrees it was ill-advised to give the Public Services Commission authority that really belongs to the townships in terms of zoning. And this resolution says that without referencing that ballot initiative.
Fine with me.
Any comments?
But wasn't Matt's request to support the resolution supporting the ballot initiative?
It
Is that-
was, but the basis for the ballot initiative is to do that which, that be it further resolved says. It restores local zoning control.
And it still does support that initiative because it's still to repeal the 5120.
So, anything else? Any other comments, questions? All right, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Harrison.
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Majerick.
Yes.
Ott.
Yes.
Pittsford.
Yes.
Ballrath.
Yes.
Werfel.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Curran.
Yes.
Freeling.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes,
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
thank you. And I'm happy that we did that, happy that it's unanimous. And I trust we'll send that on up to Lansing to our legislators, Madam Clerk. Okay. Flipping over to the back page of the agenda. Committee reports, and it says we're starting with admin.
Thank you, Matt. First in to see us this morning was Don Trail from our building and grounds. And he provided us an update on the work that is being done, supplied us with a spreadsheet that we asked for. During our discussion, I asked that the whole board be presented with this document. And as Brian is good at multitasking, while we were in the meeting, he forwarded that to all commissioners. So you all have the update on the facilities improvements. Next in to see us was our animal control director, Ashley Herr, and Commissioner Ott would like to report on that. Alex, you're up. You're up.
We have private conversation. I'm joking, no. Ashley was in to see us. She gave us a quick rundown of the animal control shelter. There are currently sitting at 5 full-time employees, 15 part-time employees, 60 volunteers, which include folks from Whirlpool and RISA. They are continuing to have great success using the new van that they purchased. They are still looking though for a kennel, what is that? Kennel supervisor. And March 23rd, they have a donation drive at Martin's and Niles. And they did have a confirmed rabies report from a bat.
Oh, Lord.
Yep, yeah. So, and that roughly is it. They do have
Baseball season.
30 altered dogs within the shelter, and 30 altered, which I believe means they have had shots up for adoption. And that was about it.
Okay, thank you, Alex.
Explain all the reminders.
Oh, alter. Okay, sorry, not shots.
All right. Next in to see us was our trial court administrator, Carrie Smetanka-Haney. There is legislation in the works that basically hit our radar that is going to affect the funding for the court. If you recall, in 2012, there was a court case that ruled that the collection of court costs was illegal. So the legislature stepped in and they had made basically a temporary bill allowing it, and they kept renewing it every 2 or 3 years since 2012, and it's up again. And so she familiarized us with 2 bills. House Bill 5392. This is to extend that for another 2 years. So at least they're taking care of it for right now. They have to pass this before May 1st in order for it to preserve the funding. If they don't, they have to do something immediately thereafter. House Bill 5534, this is to create a task force to look at the issue and find a funding mechanism to replace court costs. So in other words, 5392 gives them 2 more years. 5534 gives that task force 2 years to come up with something to replace those costs. So she updated us on all that, and that all is available. We have some resolutions for you the next time we get together. Resolution ending in 3159. This is the road department policy that I have talked to you about previously. We kept tweaking it each meeting until we finally came up with the final product. And again, we asked Brian to send it to the entire board, so you have plenty of time to digest it before it's introduced for adoption at next week's meeting. So that is on the road department policy. Resolution ending in 3161. This is the maintenance agreement for the 911 phone system. It was originally installed and maintained by Entrado. So it went through finance. I think it was a single source provider. And this is to enter into an agreement with Entrado for 4 years to maintain all the 911 equipment at the 911 center. Resolutions ending in 3166 and 3167. These are kind of together. It's for the Homeland Security grant program. This is for our emergency management division. These two resolutions apply for a grant, authorizes the receipt of the grant, and authorizes St. Joe County, Michigan to be the fiduciary. We've done that with other counties. You know, it's a tri-county grant, and one of the counties is identified as a fiduciary. In this case, it's St. Joe County. So resolution ending in 3166 is the grant year from 2022 through 2025. And resolution 3167 is the grant year from 2023 through 2026. And part of the reason why I asked the question, why didn't we get these in 22 and 23 for that grant year cycle? And Rocky Adams was in and explained it to us that it is the way the state does these is it's kind of retroactive. In other words, they've got it for 2022. The state legislature may not approve that money until 2023 or 2024. So that's why it's multi-year and it goes back. Brian was in to see us, talked about the Tanner Creek drain and talked to us about the Red Arrow Highway design for 2025 and 2026. So we will all be getting something in that regard. You know, because that Red Arrow project was spread out over many years. And so Brian wants to make sure that we are well aware of what is going to transpire in 2025 and 2026 with that stretch of roadway. And that is our report.
Questions for admin? Right now, Jim is signing that revised resolution. Thank you, Annette, for doing that. That way the clerk will have a clean resolution to send up to our folks in Lansing. This is 3170 that we amended on the floor. If there are no questions for admin, we'll go to finance. John. Or maybe whoever was doing it. John, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We continued the conversation that we started out in the committee of the whole with concerning the drain commissioner, and to give you a kind of a quick update on what we're requesting for next week. I've actually asked Brian, who'll be having the communication with the drain commissioner in the office, what we requested. So Brian, please.
So what's being requested is number one, for the drain commissioner to attend the upcoming meeting on the 28th. Finance committee has requested year-to-date spending. They've also requested going back 5 years for soft costs as well as construction costs. So that'd be legal, engineering, and construction costs for projects that would fall within the Tanner Creek drain. They've also sought any information on costs tied to litigation with the state of Michigan and Eagle. Lastly, they've asked for a narrative that just explains a bit of history on this ongoing litigation. So who filed the lawsuit, how much longer is it likely to go on, what total expenses are projected, and what cost recovery options are available. The last point that I believe was made was just for staff to coordinate with the local unit to make sure that City of Bridgman is tracking the overall expense. Does that cover it?
That covered it very well. And in addition to that, as we bring that together, we asked Thaddeus to be at the meeting, should the drain commissioner be there. And then, of course, we'll extend the invitation to, especially to you, Commissioner Roth. So wanted to make sure that all those things were covered. Is there anything that we left out that we missed in the committee of the whole that you guys would like reported on? Okay, if not, we'll just leave that at that, and then we'll see how what the response is next week. After that, we had a meeting with our treasurer, Shelley White, and I've asked Riante to give a quick update on that.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. So yes, we did have our treasurer, Shelley White, come in. So she gave us an update on our investment. As you guys remember, we've contracted with Meter, our financial investment consultant. And she has a meeting with him later today, which they're going to discuss our financial analysis for this year. And that being said, as we're seeing the returns due come in for our current investments, Shelley has decided to wait until, she gets further advice from our financial advisor before reinvesting some of those funds. She's also working on the fiscal year 23 tax settlements. So she gave us a quick report. There's about 317 properties right now that are up for potential foreclosure. That's around 100 more than we seen last year. So it's about a 25% increase. But she's working with municipalities. This year, she's been going to the different municipalities and working with the citizens to try to work out some payment plans, and the taxpayers are really appreciative for her being out there with them, giving them information and helping them formulate a payment plan. And she also gave us a quick update on the My Hope program, which is a program that helps property owners with home repairs. This is a program that was originally under SMCAA, Southwest Michigan Community Action Agency, but it was picked up by the treasurer's office. And so she's working with them, and they're receiving applications for those who want to do home repairs. And that concludes our report from the treasurer.
Thank you, Rayante. And you'll see a resolution on that, My Hope, next week, moving forward. All right, we approved the bills. We had some resolutions, paid the bills, and then we had public comment. And one thing, and probably most importantly, that I would like to say at this point in time is that Stephanie Carlson, our recording secretary, is retiring. And we are, as a committee, so thankful to everything that she has done for us and always been there for us and provided great minutes, and I think it goes without saying that she's always been so organized when we get to the meeting to help and aid us and assist us through that meeting. Then I can honestly say, I think on behalf of everybody, how much we've appreciated her. So,
Thank you.
so I hope she has a great retirement. I wish she would reconsider, but she said no. So, so that's our report, Mr. Chair.
Questions for finance? Mr. Chair of PHS.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met this morning also. We had a number of resolutions we considered and will come to you at a later date. The first one relates to a grant to the Michigan, to our health department from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. This is a social determinant grant in the amount of $207. Second, 3172 is establish a promissory note with the Historical Association for an outstanding balance. The third is accepting our grant from our risk management company for additional surveillance cameras at Silver Beach Park. And then also we'll have a resolution recognizing Vietnam veterans for you to consider next week. That's coming to us through the Whirlpool Veterans Association. So this, I think we'll see, they will invite a number of veterans to attend our meeting next week. We also reviewed and approved advanced step hire and promotional requests from the Health Department and the Public Safety Communications Center. We had a written report from the Parks Department. There will be a clean sweep pesticide disposal events coming up, one in June and one in July. And the applications are on the website. And then we had an update on the Silver Beach Playground project, as well as the discussion going on about drains from our administrator. And that concluded our meeting.
Very good. Questions for PHS? All right. Commissioner reports, going clockwise.
Report, thank you.
We had our Twin Cats meeting this week, in which we received updates about some of the transit projects going on in the county. And just to keep you guys updated on all things Silver Beach. Brian did give me a briefing of what's going on, and we're supposed to be convening a meeting with St. Joe City Mayor along with their staff and our county staff, Brian and Jill. And just huge thanks to Brian, Jill, Dan, and even our sheriff, as you know, we're trying to be, good partners with the city of St. Joe regarding resolving the issue down at Silver Beach in their parking and traffic situation. So big thank you to our staff, and I will keep you guys updated on what happens.
I am so pleased to announce that the Brandywine boys basketball team won D3 state championship. It's amazing how a sporting event like that can bring people out of the woodwork. I saw people that were school board members 20 years ago, staff that have been retired for 20 years, showing up at these basketball games. And, they play the last two games at the Breslin, and there were 3 buses full of people going up. Wow. It was fantastic. And the other exciting thing is today at noon, the girls are playing they're in the Final Four, and then they'll play for the state championship on Saturday if they win today. So Brandywine could, in this 1 year, have 2 state champions in boys basketball and girls basketball. Wow. So we're rooting for the girl Cats playing at noon today.
Jim,
So,
has that ever occurred?
is that a record?
It is.
Brandywine's never won a
Like
state
ever,
championship
I
in
wonder.
basketball before.
No, for a boys and girls team.
Oh, to both be state champions in the same year? Well, the boys basketball team's never been state champions, so that's a first there. But then to have the boys and the girls both in the same year, yeah, that's.
I read it in the paper where there's only been one other school out of Detroit that sent them 2 to the finals. And there was only one school with the state that's never been.
I will tell you that the Grand Rapids Christian schools are gonna hate Brandywine because both the boys and the girls knocked them out in the first round. It was the same team, so they're not gonna speak very highly of Brandywine for a while because we beat them.
I did forget to mention that there is a Michigan university that is playing in the NCAA tournament. And so I thought some people might want to know that.
Perchance, which one?
I think it starts out go green.
Go white.
Oh, you're forgetting Oakland.
That's true.
Well, in that same vein, Juwan Howard is no longer the basketball coach at Michigan, so we're hoping, and hey, when big brother bows out, I'll root for little brother, so I'll go Izzo.
Back in December, I didn't think either team would make it to the NCAA, so Spartans played a lot harder than the Wolverines did this year, but I think they only got in because of the reputation of their coach. However, I did attend AAA, Area Agents and Agency. We had a board meeting Monday. We did vote to appropriate some funds for PACE. They've reorganized their board, and Corwell has done as well, to give them money to keep them going. There's 247 customers. Their limit is 250, and they've got 30 people on a waiting list. So they are important to the county, and we got to keep those people going. And I think with our people on board with PACE now on that board, they'll get it straightened out. They haven't figured out yet. They will do an audit at some point to find out where this money went, but until that time, they really don't know anything, but they just have to keep them going, and that's what's happening. So that's my report.
I just have to add my 2 cents too, with all this green talk today. It's just giving me hives, all us admin people. That the Wolverines are the 2023 national champions. So I'll just put that back out there.
It's only been a couple. We're still.
All right, I did attend the Brownfield meeting last week, we talked about a couple of new potential projects, one on workforce housing, one on a retail establishment. More to come on those as they move forward. Also had parks meeting yesterday, went through a lot of things going on with the parks. Bob covered a lot of it that I think they reported out today in the PHS meeting. I will add a couple of dates. Mr. Hoy mentioned this morning, I don't know if he's still here. On April 6th, there is a celebration of life and art to Mr. Hunt at the Krasel. It's at the Richard Hunt Studio, sorry, in Benton Harbor. But I think Krasel is putting that on. Upcoming also at the parks on April 27th, there's the Disc Golf Derby at Madeline Bertrand. On May 9th, we've got, I think it's a murder mystery, wine and murder at the History at the Courthouse in Berrien Springs. And then on July 27th is the return of the Monarch Festival at Love Creek. So if you want to mark your calendars for those great events. I think Bob brought up that the schedule is out for recycling. So if you didn't get a copy of that, I think there's plenty of them upstairs too to grab. That's my report.
Are you ready, Julie? I actually did things this week. So I did attend the new City of New Buffalo meeting, as well as staff for Chickaming, where we discussed their support for our support for the MAC resolutions. Also discussed the Airbnb bill that should receive its first hearing on or around April 10th. Then I will be meeting at Lake Township to discuss those two things as well, and to get their input on the 25-26 road Red Arrow Highway project.
Good job.
Good job. Yeah.
I did attend the Brownfield with Commissioner, Julie and Commissioner Freeling. And I'm glad you covered that. I did attend the SUPPD meeting, which is Substance Use Disorder Oversight Policy Board, which covers 8 counties, and we go over how they're spending their money, if they're staying in budget and such. They went over the opioid actions that are coming forward. And also the money the marijuana commissions are sending to the state. If you want to look at that, I think Berrien County is getting
1.7.
I don't think so, but it doesn't say that. It says 51,000. Maybe this is not the whole amount.
Yeah.
Oh, 777,618. And it's broken out by city if anybody wants to see their city also. Also the Suicide Prevention Coalition. I went to the Mental Health Authority last night, and presentations. One of the big things is SWIMBA. Well, it's confusing. We hire SWIMBA to oversee us, and SWIMBA then has become pretty much telling us how we have to do everything. So we are changing our computer systems. We all did 5-6 years ago, because we don't like the way SWIMBA's computer works. There's too much paperwork involved, but SWIMBA will not let us out of that contract. And so it's a big discussion. How do we handle that right now? And so half the meeting was going over that and learning new facts about it. But the Suicide Prevention Coalition came, and they are 100% volunteers. They're 100% donation. And they are looking to get funding from anybody to get an on-time employee, because they don't have one. And so everything they do is by volunteers, and they run the 988 calls, and they're just every year it's a struggle getting personal donations. So they're out there, and if you really want to go to them, you go to berryandcare.com and you can find out more information, but I'm gonna give this to Terry after I'm done.
I'll look forward to it.
That's my report.
Gonna get that report. I too attended the Brownfield, which was already reported on. And I just want to say, I really appreciate this board holding everyone accountable. I'm glad to see you out there. Get things done. Yes, this is good. And then I would be remiss if I didn't thank Maya and her grandmother for coming. It is a pleasure again to honor you. And she muscled through the rest of the meeting. So that was noteworthy, as well as everyone else. And the only other thing that I just wanted to make the public aware of, and fellow commissioners, the tree sale from the Berrien County Conservation District is still taking orders until April 12th, and it's not just trees. They have fruit trees, they have bushes, they have other resources for just conservation technique. And so you can find that on their website, or we also have paper orders out here on the desk that you can access. That's my report, sir.
Yes, I'm just thinking of all the things that are going on in our community. Tonight it's Pecha Kucha. Pecha Kucha is Japanese for tiny conversations. And so this is at the Box Factory. It costs $5, I think, at the door. If you get a little ticket, it's $7.18. But I hope that you all will consider going. It's from 7 to about 9. And there'll be 7 or 8 people that talk, and you have no idea what the subject is, and sometimes wonder, why are they telling that? But it's a wonderful event. I want to let you know there is an art hop Friday tomorrow from 5 to 9, the city of Benton Harbor. And just to repeat, there will be a celebration for Richard Hunt on Saturday, April 6th from 4:30 to 7 at the Richard Hunt Sculpture Studio. Thank you.
Thank you. I just checked with the administrator. He does not have anything else to share today. So we will go to general public comments. Anything under the sun in 2 minutes or less, name and town, name and town. Yes, sir. If you'd come on up where the microphone is.
My name is Gunther Paul. I live in Hager Township. And I really hate to come here with these issues because we have people in place to take care of them. Number one, the drain commissioner. I have a drain on the edge of my property, which was known as the Eman Drain. It needs to be maintained. When Spike was drain commissioner, he moved that drain. Zilke worked on the drain. I had contacted the drain commissioner when he first took office. He came out one time, he don't return phone calls, I don't see him or nothing. Needless to say, he has issues with the township as well. The state grant for road repair. Our township could really use it, and in my neighborhood, it would really be helpful to get some money for that. Our elected commissioners, we have 2. One for the northern part of the township and one for the southern part. The commissioner for the northern part hasn't been there since the last election cycle. We'd like to see him. In the southern part, the commissioner has been there 3 times. And one time was when he wasn't officially a commissioner yet. He involves himself with helping a property owner that bought a bad piece of property to run a sewer line, which is at least 2 miles long. And he's asking the resident to pay an assessment for this guy to sell his subdivision lots. It's not going to happen.
2 minutes, sir.
Okay. So what I'm asking for is, if you can address some of these issues and help us out, it would be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Does anyone else wish to be heard? Yes, sir. You look familiar, but.
Chuck Height, New Buffalo Township, also serving as your sheriff. So I just want to thank the board again for this morning, allowing us to recognize 2 deputies and the work they did. But the main reason, and Commissioner Curran, I didn't skip admin, wasn't able to be there, but tomorrow Dave Elbers from Emergency Management is going to pick up the mobile command unit.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't want to announce that until I knew for sure. Just text Dave, it's still on for tomorrow. So I'll arrange with Brian to do kind of a show and tell for the commissioners. Obviously, it's been a long time in the running, and thank you for the support of that. And we have 2 people graduating from the DOC Academy and 2 from the Police Academy tomorrow. So it's a busy day. Thank you.
Is there any truth to the rumor that it's going to be loaned out for the sequel to the National Lampoon Family Vacation movie?
No, that's a wrong rumor.
Okay. Yeah, really. Yes, sir. You're next then.
Michael Hoy, I just wanted to continue the conversation about the Richard Hunt Day. So April 24th, the city of Benton Harbor will be making their own resolution to support that. The city of St. Joseph is also in the works with John Hoskins to do that. The reason why we're asking for Berrien County is because of the piece that is down at Silver Beach. I had a little conversation with Brian, and I gave you the information of John Ott, who you can he's on California Times, but he'll be a great source. He's responsible for the Richard Hunt Legacy Foundation. And Brian shared with me that it would have to come through a board member. And I think maybe Yarborough and even Rayton Bell would be appropriate to do that. So thank you again, April 24th, as we roll out National Richard Hunt Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Sean Hill, City of St. Joe. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are supporting the ballot initiative for that, that you put out there as far as the renewable energy, as far as maintaining local control here. So I decided to do something about it myself, actually. Wasn't planning on speaking today, but since you guys brought it up, what the heck? I do have petitions. I don't know if I can make that announcement or not, but I do have petitions to sign to get it on the ballot for this fall. I do believe it's important that local control do have control or have say. I really, living in St. Joe here on our beautiful lake, not only the farmland am I concerned about being used up for it, I'm concerned about big windmills showing up out in the water, which I think could potentially happen if they have control in Lansing. So just want to make that announcement. I do have petitions with your permission, Chair. I mean, I didn't bring them today because I don't know what I could do here in the public building or not, but I would like to stay after. If somebody wants to give me their name and phone number, I will meet you outside of here then, if that's okay.
I don't think we can have them signed in the building.
Right, that's why I didn't bring them with me. Yep. So I mean, I didn't even bring them at all. So I didn't know if somebody wants to give me their fake name and phone number, I will come to you and have you sign it. I believe it's important for the county as a whole, so thank you for your time.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to be heard? Yes, sir. Rick?
Rick Brown, Miles Township, Berrien County Sheriff candidate. Last week, Mr. Kirkus voiced his concerns about the license plate readers Chuck wants to spend money on. You guys are going to spend the money on. Ray mentioned the fact that everyone is being tracked, which is an invasion of privacy at the very least. I have to ask, what policies guide the use of the information gathered by the reader itself? Is it reading every license plate or just those are suspected of being involved in a crime? Chuck told us that you don't have to be concerned unless you stole a vehicle, and everyone laughed, but what that's doing is it's assuming guilt and then looking for someone to fit the crime. That's what Marxists do, and that's how you create a police state. Back when Mike Sepik was the elected prosecutor, he told me that everyone is guilty of something, they just hadn't been caught yet. And I have to wonder if that's the official stance of the Berrien County Board of Commissioners and the Sheriff's Office as well. Our interim sheriff deputized every municipal officer in the county. Essentially, he made them all Berrien County's responsibility should they violate someone's rights when they were operating under the county's authority. But what he didn't do, as far as I can tell, was to give them any directives as to what they can and can't do when they're with that authority. For example, the City of St. Joe Director of Public Safety thinks a city officer can write a ticket in the township because he's been deputized by the county. But that's only correct in specific situations. My question to you is, who should be sued when a municipal officer acting under the sheriff's authority violates someone's rights? Your corporate attorney doesn't believe it is in the best interest of the public that we know the answers to that question. He denied my daughter's FOIA request for the policies and procedures the municipal officers are operating under as deputies based on his incorrect belief. I would like you to override his decision and grant the FOIA request because I believe it's in the public's best interest to do so. Lastly, I want you to consider the following. When I'm elected sheriff of Berrien County, I'm going to create the Office of Constitutional Policing within the sheriff's office. I'm going to hire a constitutional attorney to work in that office, and they're going to analyze and assess every policy and procedure in the sheriff's department. They will identify flaws and loopholes. They will also be tasked with creating currently non-existent constitutional policies, which will guide the sheriff's department forward in the 21st century. This office will allow me as sheriff to guarantee that the sheriff's department will not and cannot violate anyone's rights. This office will provide tools which we can use to educate, everyone else went over. We can to educate the public on their rights. It will pay for itself by preventing the innumerable lawsuits and legal settlements that the sheriff's department employees have been subjected to over the last 20 years, and it can be used as a guide for municipalities. Finally, the Michigan Constitution is very clear. All political power is inherent in the people. Government is instituted for their equal benefit, security, and protection. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard, preferably within that 2 minutes if you can? Yes, ma'am.
Again, Kathy Myers, Pier 1000 Marino. Just thank you again for your help on our emergency dredging. It is an emergency this year. We are for sure, it's not going to go in vain. We are for sure going to create some kind of maintenance dredging that, you know, boaters and marina owners and whoever else wants to donate to have a fund so that if this happens again, we have money for dredging. At least we'll have a permit for 5 years. So that is definitely something that we're, you know, we have to do. Every other town has it. Berrien County doesn't, you know, we don't have it. We've never really tried to do it, to try to get I think this time, I think we have a good group of people that agree that it has to happen. So hopefully talks will go smooth, but again, we may come back to Berrien County for advice or for, you know, direction as to how to make that happen. But again, anybody wants to go for a boat ride, call me. I'll give you a tour.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Does anyone else wish to be heard? Yes, sir.
Pelter, Hager, we're overrepresented here today, you know, the other guy over there too. I see him there at the Hager Township Board meeting. Anyway, if some of you are having problems hearing back there, you know, that sound system is not the greatest in the world. Now, I used to complain, they finally got me one of these. You'd be surprised what you can hear with these. So if you, next time you come in here, I'm glad to see quite a few people in here. Next time you come in here, demand one of these if you can't hear, okay? You have that right. Get some of your money back. No, they're all our money and they're not asking us how to go about spending it. Are they asking you? We got meetings during the day, right? Most of you probably don't have a job. And the people that are coughing up the bucks, they're like, they can't attend the meeting. Why? Because they have the meetings Thursday morning at 10:30. They do that on purpose. They don't want to hear us. They don't want a full house like this. I'm kind of glad there's so many people of you, so many of you here. I know they don't want to hear me. Every time I get up here, I complain about something. No, government agencies, they have their meetings at night. Now, why do they have the meetings at night? Because everybody has the right to attend them. Hardly anybody works at night. They work during the day. So they got to pay their taxes, right? And then they don't have a chance to say anything about how they spend the money. That's one of my big complaints. And then they seem to think, you know, the state legislature meets, there are only about 10 states that have a state legislature full time. Michigan is one of them. So there are 40 states that do not have a full-time legislature. It used to be 4, now we got 10. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peltzer. And for those of you who are here for the first time, the headset is on loan. He doesn't get to take it home with him, just so you know. So.
He doesn't have the money for hearing aids.
Right, yeah, apparently. Does anyone else wish to be heard? Literally. Okay, public comment is over. Other business. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to see if there was any desire from the board for a resolution about Richard Hunt Day. I know PHS, we've done some things with the calendar in the past, so this might be the correct committee, but I was just gonna see if there was a general appetite to designate a day of the month as Richard Hunt Day.
Thank you, Commissioner Pittsford. I would like very much to have a resolution. The event is that I'm connected with and know about is April 6th. And so that gives us enough time to do it. And what I can do, I'll talk to the CRASL, to Tammy Favre, the director, to get information from her.
Yeah, only if
If you
there's,
all agree,
if there's appetite.
and that we would all sign it. Can that be done, Annette? Or would you even get in touch with Tammy? Or, thank you.
What's the sense of the board? All right,
Thank you.
go for it.
Thank you.
Okay, any other business? Announcements and reminders. We're not open on Good Friday, 29th. So if you come here looking for anyone, you won't find them.